Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something pretty concerning, a really, sneaky Gmail phishing scam that's been doing the rounds recently.
Yeah, that's right.
One of you actually flagged a news article about it covering the attack and Google's response. So our mission today is to really unpack this,
Figure out what exactly happened.
exactly what Google's doing, and crucially, what you can do right now to make sure your account is safe.
Okay, so this attack, it is pretty clever. It wasn't just like random spam. The scammers made their emails look incredibly official, like they were genuinely from Google.
Right. And the article mentioned how they manage that. Something about using Google's own sort of older web hosting bits, legacy products, I think they called them.
That's the core of it, yeah.
Yeah.
They found a way to host content, including scripts and things, on an actual Google subdomain.
So hang on, the fake email came from a real Google address.
Essentially, yes. Which is why it's so dangerous. It slips past spam filters, it looks trustworthy in your inbox.
Because we're all trained to look for that familiar domain name.
Wow. Okay.
It plays on that trust. But it didn't stop there. They got more sophisticated.
Yeah, the article mentioned they also set up their own Google account and something called a Google OAuth application. What's that about?
Okay, so Oath, basically, it's a standard that lets apps talk to each other securely without sharing your main password. Think sign in with Google.
Right, I use that sometimes. So how did the scammers use it?
Well, this is the really concerning part. By creating their own OAuth app, they could actually trigger real Google security alerts that got sent to users.
Wait, real alerts from Google?
Generated by Google's system, yes, but initiated by the scammer's app. So you might get a notification that looks totally legitimate, warning about suspicious activity.
Uh-huh.
But if you clicked on it, it could lead you straight to their fake login page designed to grab your credentials.
Yeah, that's deeply unsettling, like the alarm system leading you into danger.
Precisely. It's a very clever, multi-layered approach. So Google knows about this. What are they doing?
Thankfully, yes, they've acknowledged it. The report confirms. Google stated they are actively rolling out protections. They specifically mentioned targeting this method of abuse.
And they said these fixes will soon be fully deployed.
That's the quote, yes. So action is being taken, which is good news. It does show they're responding.
It is good news. Still, it kind of makes you wonder how these, older system loopholes stick around.
That's a big question in cybersecurity generally, the pace of development versus patching legacy stuff.
Yeah.
It's a constant battle.
Right. Now, there was another critical point Google made about recovery. If the worst happens, if someone gets in and changes your password.
Yes, this is vital.
Google says you have a 7-day window, just 7 days to use their recovery methods to try and get your account back.
7 days. That's not a lot of time at all, especially when you might be panicked. Swift action is absolutely essential. If you even suspect something's wrong, start the recovery process immediately.
Don't wait. Okay, so let's pivot to prevention and recovery. What are Google's key recommendations for everyone listening?
Top of the list. Use security keys or passkeys.
Okay, explain those briefly. Why are they better than just a password?
Well, they add a physical or biometric element, like a little USB key or your phone, or even your fingerprint. It makes it vastly harder for someone to log in, even if they steal your password, because they don't have that second physical piece.
Like a digital deadbolt. Makes sense. Okay, what else?
Set up a recovery email address, a completely separate email account linked to your main Google one.
And that acts as a backup communication channel.
Exactly. If you're locked out of your Gmail, Google can send verification codes or recovery links to that address to help you prove it's really you. It's your lifeline.
Similar idea for linking a phone number, I assume.
Yep, same principle. A primary phone number is crucial. It's used for two-factor authentication that code texted to your phone and for identity verification during recovery.
Good, good. They also mentioned enabling updates about suspicious activity.
Right. These are alerts Google sends if it detects unusual logins, like from a new device or a strange location. Getting that early warning can make all the difference.
It gives you a heads up to react quickly.
Precisely.
And finally, you mentioned that recovery email again. Within the 7-day window, getting a sign-in code, there might be an option.
Yes, that's one of the potential recovery paths Google offers. So having that recovery email set up and accessible is incredibly important. Check it regularly if you suspect a problem.
Okay, so the message is, set up these recovery options now, before you need them.
Absolutely. Don't wait until you're locked out.
And just to circle back, Google is deploying fixes specifically for this attack, the one linked to this Rockfoils group they mentioned.
Yes, they're actively working to close this specific loophole. which is reassuring.
Definitely. So that's the deep dive on this specific Gmail threat. It's quite a stark reminder of how these attacks keep evolving, isn't it?
It really is. The landscape is constantly shifting, and it makes you think. This incident highlights the need for proactive security. With your email, sure, but what other parts of your digital life could maybe use a security checkup today?